Hello and welcome to the Semester in Review edition of Falcon Update on YBTV. I'm Matt Jenkins.
And I'm Kaylee Yang. Earlier this semester, the Department of Safety encountered a suspicious person on campus. Dara Kelly has a look back on how the situation unfolded.
Right around where I'm standing was the place where the suspicious person known as Muhammad Ali was first reported to be on campus. To uncover more about the situation, we sat down for an interview with Safety Officer Jeremy Lippard.
During the pandemic, there were a lot of people that would come onto campus, but they weren't suspicious, they were supposed to be closed. So I would say this one was probably the weirdest one. So we have like little things like that a lot, but not anything serious in the 2 years I've been here.
On Monday, September 27th, students were notified that a suspicious person was spotted in the Old Main parking lot earlier that day. Officer Jeremy Lippert was dispatched to the scene when he engaged the individual.
When I asked him to identify himself and he wouldn't identify himself, then it became a problem. Our job is to keep y'all safe, and he was just really agitated and argumentative.
Police were dispatched to the scene to aid in removing the individual from campus. The individual left campus, and police and safety then located a vehicle and the individual left. Information in the vehicle identified it as stolen, and the individual's name is Muhammad Ali. Students were instructed to report any sightings of Muhammad Ali so police could discuss the stolen vehicle with him. There was then a report sent on Tuesday evening that the individual had been seen in Murray Library. The Department of Safety and Upper Allen Police were both dispatched to the library. By the time they arrived, the individual had left. Upon looking at the security tapes, it was clear that the sighting was a false alarm. Since the initial confrontation, there have been no additional sightings.
One of the biggest things is just identifying the person. So anybody that comes to campus, if you think they're suspicious or anybody thinks something's weird about them, which we get calls, is asking them what the purpose is here.
We spoke to some students on campus regarding their opinions on the Muhammad Ali situation and their safety in general.
Overall, I feel safe on campus.
Students continue to feel personally safe on campus, but that does not mean these events never happen. Officer Jeremy said that when students notice something suspicious, they should report it and trust their instincts. Next time you see something suspicious, remember that it is always better to report and be wrong rather than to be silent and leave threats at large. I'm Dara Kelly, and this is Yellow Breeches TV.
In terms of campus safety, Director of Safety Bryce Wickard also reminds students to protect against theft. His department is now offering Operation ID, where you can have your name or other identifying information inscribed on your valuables. Wickard is available via email for more information on how to avoid becoming a victim of theft.
Another issue on campus this semester has been finding a student workforce to keep dining services and other departments on campus running smoothly. Melina Beedman has that story.
Dining Services is struggling to find student workers at Lottie Nelson Dining Hall.
Student employment rates remain below expected levels this fall as fewer students choose to work on campus. Dining Services typically employ hundreds of students, and labor shortages are affecting everyday occurrences on campus. In addition, many students are not showing up for their shifts.
I've had stuff where I've had to pick up additional shifts because we have people gone, or especially for shifts that were less desirable, like when we have we're coming up on breaks or vacations, stuff like that, or holidays. You got a lot of people canceling. We're running paper plates on the weekends for dinners. Even with that, sometimes we still don't have enough people to actually just keep things running. Sometimes, so occasionally I've had to go pick up additional shifts here and there to help out.
COVID changed the way people live their lives. Student Employment Coordinator Belinda Conrad says that Messiah has not conducted specific analysis. However, it is reasonable to believe that at least some of the reduction in student employees is due to COVID. Low student employment rates have affected other dining venues on campus, as the Union Cafe has been unable to open on several occasions. If the problem continues, Messiah will have to reduce open hours at its various locations. The university is working to add more employment, but it's unknown how long it will take to increase the workforce.
In addition to the fact that just COVID and we're trying to keep safe with that, one of the big reasons we did have paper plates was the fact that we just didn't have the people to make sure that we could always completely man the dish room as well.
Messiah is working to secure the funding to adjust pay rates in dining services. Incentives have been implemented to work additional shifts and referring other students to dining services.
They also added a bonus if you work across a pay period. So pay period is 2 weeks. If you work across 20 hours in a pay period, at least 6 of those I think are on a Sunday, they have a $100 bonus for every pay period that you accomplish that. So there's a few different things that they're kind of doing in regards to that. I've been seeing a few different more advertisements up, like talking about the positions, and so I think those were some of the main things that they were doing.
Job openings have also been added for high school students, and employees in other departments have picked up shifts in dining services.
Anyone interested in finding a job at Lottie is encouraged to contact Jeff Roman, jroman@messiah.edu. With YBTV, I'm Melina Bideman.
As we all know, the COVID-19 pandemic has been with us all semester. Students and teachers have faced new academic challenges as a result. John Wanger reports on how virtual learning has impacted students.
Ever since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic last year, the school world has been turned upside down. Students who have been exposed to COVID-19 have had to learn remotely using technology. This has been quite the challenge for both students and teachers. We asked a student who has experienced this what their time learning remotely was like.
I was grateful for my professors who, worked hard to make Zooming into class as good as it could possibly be. But I felt really disconnected, felt really like I lost a lot of motivation to actually do the work and to really pay attention to what was happening in class.
COVID concerns were high when students moved in earlier this August, with the Delta variant in full swing. Here in Cumberland County, cases were at some of the highest amounts in the state. As expected, plenty of cases and exposures were recorded on campus. Since the August move-in, 113 students and teachers have tested positive for COVID-19. Hundreds more have been considered close contacts to these positive cases. We asked the student if she felt anxious at all about the constant risk of her academic and extracurricular experience getting impacted by COVID.
I wouldn't say I actively worry about it. I would say the thought would be worrisome.
Many students have already used online resources for school prior to the pandemic. However, the complete reliance on these resources is a relatively new challenge. We asked the student what advice she had for students who must partake in virtual learning for the first time.
Be patient with yourself, with your professors. I would say pray a lot. Pray against isolation and loneliness, and remember that, that it's hopefully only for a season.
One of the changes Messiah University implemented since the start of the semester was giving all students KN95 masks. These were distributed in September to lessen the chance of widespread quarantines due to COVID. Cases on campus have declined since the start of the semester. Despite this should not stop you from keeping track of your health. If you ever have symptoms of COVID-19, make sure you get tested immediately regardless of your vaccination status. It could just prevent another student from having to quarantine. I'm John Wanger, back to the studio.
When Falcon Update continues, we'll focus on sports and try to answer the question, where's football? Stay with us.
You're watching YBTV live on YouTube. Check out our channel after the show for more great content from Messiah University.
It should be fun. I love s'mores.
Me too, especially on a campfire.
The best.
Golden brown.
Yes. Oh, hi. I suppose you're wondering what an A-list celebrity like me is doing in a place like this. You must know, I'm saving the world. Oh, hi, Beth. Yep, saving the world again. Did you know that 40% of all the food produced in the United States is thrown away? That means everything that went into that food, the pesticides, the water, the land, was all for nothing. Just look at this perfectly good food thrown in the trash. The pizza with extra Cheerios, these goldfish and Band-Aid tacos. And just look at this perfect trash burger. This pasta dog looks delicious.
You don't have to dumpster dive like Ed Begley Jr. to save the planet. Fight food waste by shopping smart and using what you buy before it gets trashed.
That's way better. Ooh, arugula.
Do your part and find out other world-saving tips at betterthaned.org. Forests bring people together, feed the soul, and improve our well-being. Cleaning the water we need, the air we breathe, and making our climate livable. Fires and natural disasters devastate our forests each year. That's why the Arbor Day Foundation is working to replant millions of trees across the country. Visit arborday.org and see how you can help.
Welcome back to YBTV's Semester in Review. I'm Kaylee Yank. As football season winds down, you may have noticed Messiah University does not have a football team. Students often ask why or if Messiah has plans to start one in the athletic department. Connor Rose tries to find an answer.
Messiah University is ranked 19th in the regional universities of the northern United States. Schools are ranked based on performance in a wide variety of categories. Messiah's sports teams have brought in $2,836,000 in revenue. Visit Messiah's website for more information about the athletic program.
So if Messiah had a football team, I would definitely buy tickets and attend the football game. I think it's something that brings a lot of community to the school and also is a good time to just be there and attend and be present.
I would probably say yes because I'm a big fan of the sport and I think it would be really helpful for Messiah to have one.
That I would have to say no to because I'm already a tennis player.
Personally, probably not because I'm like 5'0", so I'd probably get wrecked, but it's just me.
Matthew Fenton, I'm the Assistant Athletic Director for Communications and Events. Messiah currently does not have a football team. We have not ever had one in our history. I think about 10 years ago, President Phipps did a little bit of an informal survey of other CCCU schools and presidents, athletic directors, just get an idea of what that would cost and what it would take to have a football team. I think it was just a cost prohibitive measure. Just didn't want to dedicate the amount of money, the millions of dollars it would take to have proper facilities, equipment, staffing needs. And as a result, we put that money into other places around campus. Sallenberger Sports Center being one, lacrosse turf another, and the Anderson Field resurfacing.
Administrators often consider different criteria when exploring the possibility of participating in D3 football. These criteria include the strength of the game schedule, results against ranked teams, and rival opponents who will bring in ticket sales.
Elsewhere in Messiah's intercollegiate sports, the fall sports teams continued their tradition of reaching the national stage. The women's field hockey team lost in the second round of the national tournament after notching a win on home turf. The women's soccer team was eliminated in the second round during a weekend of play in Ewing, New Jersey, and cross country was represented by Logan Horst in the national meet in Louisville.
The men's soccer team advanced the furthest in the NCAA tournament after finishing a great regular season. Matt Simmons has a recap.
I'm here at Shoemaker Field, where the men's soccer team clinched the #1 seed in the MAC for the 2021 regular season.
Messiah men's soccer team finished the regular season with a record of 14-1-2. Despite losing the undefeated season with a loss against Penn State Harrisburg, the Falcons remained undefeated against MAC Commonwealth Conference opponents.
Yeah, men's soccer played some great ball this year. Really competitive from start to finish. A couple of draws early on in the season, and then a tough loss at the end of the year. But across the board, they're one of the better sides in the country.
The Falcons dominated the score sheet throughout the season, including a 20-goal streak across 3 games towards the end of the season. The Messiah men's soccer broadcasters, Patrick Wolfkill and Todd Sussmuth, attribute the team's offensive success to the depth of the Falcons roster.
You can't key on any one person because 5 or 6 different players are so dangerous.
Men's soccer head coach Brad McCarty says the team's offensive success comes from selfless, teamwork-focused play.
I think there's an element of being unselfish. I think being disciplined, creating opportunities for each other.
Messiah's defense was strong as well, in part thanks to the strong offense.
The best defense is a good offense. We talked about how many goals we're scoring, but we're also possessing the ball so much and attacking one third.
While the Falcons made it look easy, returning from the COVID-19 hiatus
after 655 days off, we will never take another game for granted.
Was no easy task.
They lost an entire season. Although they did practice some together, they had to fit in 2 years worth of new players. They had to, guys came back that thought they were going to graduate, all that stuff together, and just to be able to play as well as they did and end up with a 14-1-2 record. I thought that was, amazing.
Coach McCarty agreed that the COVID break made managing the roster a challenge.
COVID and having different, a 6-year senior, 2 fifth-year seniors, and 7 seniors, like, there could be good, but that's also going to be challenging in regard to leadership and who's able to have an impact and influence, but I think they've done a good job.
Congratulations to the men's soccer team on a great season and playoff run. Reporting for YBTV, I'm Matt Simmons.
Following the regular season, the men's soccer team made a strong playoff run. The Falcons were named the MAC Commonwealth Champions after they defeated Lebanon Valley College in the Commonwealth Championship game. In the NCAA tournament play, the Falcons made it all the way to the Elite Eight before falling 3-1 to Washington and Lee University. Congratulations to Messiah's men's soccer team on a great season and playoff run.
The winter season is in full swing now. Men's basketball captured runner-up honors in the Town Place Suites tip-off tournament, while the women's basketball team captured their tip-off tournament in Hitchcock Arena with a 69-67 win over DeSales. The wrestling and men's and women's swimming are well into their seasons as well.
Messiah University started the fall semester as one of the 223 best colleges in the Northeast, according to the Princeton Review. The company lists Messiah in the Best in the Northeast selection of its 2020 to 2022 Best Colleges by Region website feature.
When we return to the semester in review edition of Falcon Update, we'll look at one of the bigger theatrical productions on campus this fall. Keep it right here on YBTV.
Hi there. You might wonder what a famous Hollywood celebrity like me is doing reading in the dark. Is this some new sort of Hollywood method acting? No, this is quite real. Did you know that Americans use about 4 times as much energy per year as the global average? We waste energy left and right despite the fact that the dirty fossil fuels we use to power our energy sources wreak havoc on the natural world and destroys valuable wildlife habitats. By reading with my solar-powered night vision goggles, I'm saving energy and looking sleek.
You don't have to sit in the dark like Ed Begley Jr. to save the world. Fight climate change by speaking up for cleaner, smarter energy, including rooftop solar.
Oh, that's way better. Oh.
Do your part and find out other world-saving tips at betterthaned.org.
Welcome back to YBTV's Semester in Review. Theater was able to return at full swing this fall with the recent production of Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing. Caleb Kukin takes a look.
Messiah University students put on a production of William Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing over the weekend, but with a twist. The show is set in the 1940s, unlike traditional stagings of the show. Cast member Aria Walker had this to say about the unique take on the story.
I think it was just like the mix of the language, but it wasn't in that period. So like we were talking, like they did in Shakespeare's day, wherefore art, all that kind of stuff. But we didn't look like that. So it was just kind of fun to mix the two things together and do a whole new kind of show.
Director Daniel Inouye also weighed in on why it is important to modernize certain elements of the show.
Whenever you do Shakespeare, one of the first questions you have to ask yourself is, well, where am I going to set it? Am I going to keep it in the typical Elizabethan era, or am I going to choose to set it somewhere else? For this production, we chose to set it in Italy in the 1940s. And so we wanted to think through, like, what war could we tag into that would allow us for having our men coming back, but also give us the opportunity for some fun costumes, as well as kind of fit with the notion of having some of my younger ladies play more of the predominantly male parts in the show.
Switching time periods was not the only challenging thing about production. COVID-19 concerns greatly impacted the look and feel of rehearsals, as cast member Mason Powers explains.
It's been interesting due to this COVID season. We've had a lot of key actors needing to take a week or even more off from practice. Our choreographer actually wasn't able to instruct our dances for a solid week and a half.
Live theater looks different for audience members this year too.
Because for the last few years there hasn't been live theater, so I feel like people are kind of like hungry for it now. You can finally go and see it again. We're finally performing again without masks, so it's really cool to watch.
Regardless of the limitations COVID-19 presented, the cast still built long-lasting relationships, at least according to cast member Christian Evan Tinsman.
Fun part about this cast is just the community that we're in, and also how we all just love to have fun together. Honestly, it's great.
The show runs through November 22nd with tickets on the box office and online. I'm Caleb Kukin with YBTV from Messiah University.
In the middle of each fall semester, the first weekend of November to be exact, we get the chance to pick up an extra hour of much-deserved sleep. YBTV's cameras headed out on campus earlier this semester to see what people on campus think about daylight savings time. Here's an encore of a Falcon on the Street installment.
For this week's episode of Falcon on the Street, you guys are coming to us for this one. What are your thoughts on daylight savings? Just stop by, let us know.
I don't really care. In the fall, it's nicer to wake up to sun, and then in the like spring and summer, it's nicer to have longer like light out. So I don't care. It's just normal at this point.
I think daylight savings is a little bit overrated. I think it's crazy that states like Indiana don't do it. Like, what do they do? You know, why can they do it? And it's darker now. It doesn't make sense.
Should I say it now? I said it's a joke.
Okay. Hey guys, Owen Hanselman here, and I'm here to offer my opinion on daylight savings. And what I believe is that it's just so foundational for American beliefs to be different. And I really believe that daylight savings is perfect for us in our country because we love to be different. America, baby.
Hey guys, Christian Wolf here. I gotta say, I really like daylight savings time in the fall, you know. Get an extra hour of sleep. I mean, downside is it's darker out like pretty much all the time, but hey, it makes you appreciate the sun when it is out. Thank you guys.
Well, there you have it, folks. That's all for this week's Falcon on the Street. For YBTV, I'm Paul Callender.
It's cool. Yeah.
With less than 2 weeks remaining, here's a few items on the YBTV campus calendar. The Messiah University Christmas concert is coming up on Sunday with 2 shows at 3 and 7:30. Tickets are available for purchase through the Messiah box office.
And for chapel options, chapel will be in Brubaker on Thursday at 9:30, along with the ongoing Sixer series of chapels.
And that's our special semester in review edition of YBTV. We hope you've enjoyed looking back at the fall semester.
We've tried to capture some of the highlights from this fall. Sorry if we missed one or more of your memorable events.
For the entire YBTV staff and for Kaylee Inc., I'm Matt Jenkins. Be sure to tune in again Monday, December 6th for our final live YBTV production of the semester. You can see it live on the YBTV YouTube page at 7 p.m. or anytime via YouTube.
Good luck finishing out the semester, and a Merry Christmas.